The moment you stop being a user and start being the system. What if I told you? Most tokens don't exist to empower you. They exist to extract from you. And the few that don't, they're built on something radically different. Self-sovereignty. If you don't understand this concept, you will always be liquidity for someone else. What self-sovereign really means, no buzzwords. Self-sovereign doesn't mean anti-government, anonymous forever, rebel fantasy. It means one thing only. You control the keys, the rules, and the exit. In tokenomics, that changes everything. Traditional tokenomics versus self-sovereign tokenomics. Traditional model. You hold a token. Someone else controls supply. Someone else changes rules. Someone else pauses the system. You participate. You don't decide. Self-sovereign model. You hold the keys. Rules are enforced by code. Governance is limited or transparent. Exit is always possible. You're not a user. You're a node of power. The core idea. Control price. Here's the shift most people never make. Price is temporary. Control is structural. A self-sovereign token can go down in price and still protect your freedom. A centralized token can pump and still own you. The three pillars of self-sovereign tokenomics. 1. Custody. If you don't control the keys, you don't control the asset. Custody, sparse sovereignty. 2. Rule immutability. Ask this, can rules be changed? By who? Under what conditions? If rules can change easily, so can your outcome. 3. Exit freedom, the most important pillar. If leaving is hard, expensive, or restricted, the system owns you. Imagine 2 games. Game A. Rules can change mid-game. Admin can freeze players. Rewards depend on permission. That's most tokens. Game B. Rules are public. No admin override. Anyone can leave anytime. That's self-sovereign tokenomics. Which one would you trust with your future? The hard truth. Most governance tokens are illusion tokens. Voting without enforceable limits is not power. It's theater. Self-sovereignty requires constraints on power, not just participation. Why self-sovereign systems scale slower, and that's good. They don't optimize for speed, hype, VC exits. They optimize for survivability, resistance, long-term alignment. Fast systems break fast. Strong systems last. The moment you should walk away. If a token requires trust before transparency, compliance before understanding, identity before exit, that's not empowerment, that's conditioning. Stop asking, will this token go up? Start asking, does this token reduce my dependence? That single question filters 90% of noise. If this is changing how you see crypto, like, this message fights the algorithm, subscribe. This series goes deeper. Comment, sovereign if you're still here. Because now, we close it hard. Self-sovereign tokenomics isn't about rebellion. It's about designing systems where power has limits. Because history proves one thing, power without limits corrupts. Code with limits protects. In the next part, we'll expose what happens when these systems scale, and who's trying to stop them. Programmable incentives. How tokenomics quietly rewrites human behavior. What if your money could decide for you? Not because it's smart, but because it's programmed. This is not the future. This is already happening. And tokenomics is the weapon. Stay until the end, because once you see this, you'll never look at rewards the same way again. Tokenomics is not about money, it's about behavior. Here's the truth most people miss. Tokenomics doesn't shape markets, it shapes people. Every reward system asks one question: what do we want users to do? Then it pays them to do it. Incentives, invisible levers. Humans follow incentives more than beliefs. You don't need force, you don't need rules, you just need rewards. High APY, people lock funds. Airdrops, people comply. Quests, people behave. Penalties, people conform. That's not freedom, that's conditioning. Imagine 2 cities. City 1. You're paid to walk certain streets, fined for entering others. Rewards change weekly. You're free, but only inside the reward system. City 2. No rewards for behavior, no penalties for movement. You decide what matters. Which city do you actually control? Why rewards are never free. Every reward system has a cost. Ask this: who pays? If rewards come from inflation, holders pay; emissions, price pays; treasury, future users pay. There is no free yield, only redistribution. The APY illusion. This is a trap. High APY feels like growth, but APY doesn't measure value. It measures printing speed. When rewards stop, participation collapses, liquidity vanishes, price follows. If behavior exists only because of rewards, the system has no soul. Programmable behavior is the real product. The token is not the product. You are. Your time, attention, liquidity, compliance. Tokenomics monetizes behavior at scale, and most people never notice. The most dangerous incentive of all. Early. Be early is not a strategy, it's a psychological hook. It creates FOMO, speed over thinking, loyalty without understanding. Early is only good if the system is fair. Otherwise, early just means someone exits after you enter. When incentives turn into control, the moment a system punishes exits, rewards compliance, penalizes dissent. Tokenomics becomes governance by force. Soft force, invisible force, but force. Before joining any system, ask: 1. Would people use this without rewards? 2. What happens if incentives stop? 3. Who controls the parameters? 4. Can I leave without penalty? If the answers are unclear, walk away. The most effective control systems don't ban you. They reward you. They don't tell you what to do. They pay you to choose it, and that's the difference between freedom and a well-designed cage. Tokenomics plus identity. When money learns who you are, what if your money stopped being neutral? What if it knew who you are, what you believe, where you're allowed to go, and what if Tokenomics decided your permissions? This is not speculation. This is already being built. Stay with me. Money used to be blind. Cash didn't care who you were. Bitcoin doesn't ask for permission. But modern token systems are changing that. They're merging tokens, identity, behavior, and calling it progress. More systems now require wallet verification, KYC tokens, reputation scores, compliance badges. Same token, different rules per person. That's not equality, that's programmable hierarchy. Imagine two people hold the same token. Person A, verified, approved, compliant. They can transfer freely, earn rewards, access features. Person B, unverified, flagged, non-compliant. They face transfer limits, frozen balances, reduced access. Same asset, different reality. The dangerous idea. The idea being normalized is this: good users get full access, bad users get restrictions. But who decides what good means? Tokenomics turns morality into code. Why this is not about crime. This isn't about criminals. It's about control layers. Once identity is tied to tokens, rules can change, access can shrink, rights become conditional. Permission replaces ownership, because now we expose the exit. The moment money knows who you are, it stops being money. It becomes a filter. And filters are never neutral. Who really gets paid when you buy? Every market has winners. But crypto has something else. Exit liquidity. And if you don't know who that is, it's probably you. What exit liquidity really means. Exit liquidity is simple. Someone needs to buy so someone else can sell. The question is, who sells first? The standard playbook, reality. Most projects follow this order. 1. Founders and VCs buy cheap. 2. Tokens unlock quietly. 3. Marketing ramps up. 4. Retail buys the narrative. 5. Insiders exit into liquidity. The chart doesn't crash instantly, it bleeds. Why retail is always last. Retail gets public launches, high prices, locked tokens. Insiders get discounts, unlock schedules, liquidity planning. This is not a market, it's a distribution event. Imagine musical chairs. Music stops. Insiders already have seats. You're still standing. The chart explains the rest. That's exit liquidity. How to spot it before it happens. Ask these questions. When do tokens unlock? Who owns most supply? Is demand organic or marketing driven? What happens after emissions drop? If answers are vague, you already know. Like, truth hurts algorithms. Subscribe. Part 8 is the final filter. Comment liquidity, because now we end it properly. Price pumps don't mean success. They mean someone is selling well. The only question is, was it you or them? How to never be liquidity again. After this video, you will never look at a token the same way again, because you won't see price. You'll see structure. This is not about finding good tokens. It's about filtering bad systems. You don't need to predict markets, you need to avoid traps. The 5-question filter, save this. Before touching any token, ask: 1. Can supply be manipulated? 2. Who controls rule changes? 3. Who benefits most from growth? 4. What happens if hype disappears? 5. Can I exit freely anytime? If even one answer is bad, walk away. The hardest truth in crypto: most people don't lose money because they're wrong. They lose money because they were late, they were used, they were emotional. Tokenomics doesn't reward hope. It rewards structure, from chasing gains to reading systems. Once you understand tokenomics, you stop chasing pumps, you stop trusting narratives, you stop being exit liquidity, you start seeing incentives, power flows, control points. That's the upgrade. If this series changed how you think, like, push this truth, subscribe, more coming, comment, I see it now, share. Awareness is leverage. Check the description below. More videos on money, crypto, and digital control.